Thus, I was able to see the changing world in a series of glimpses.
Like a lot of people, I grew up watching Godzilla movies. I saw all the kaiju movies: Rodan, Mothra, Monster Zero. I even saw all the Gamera movies. I loved them all. And that's why I was so stoked, along with a lot of people, for this movie. And brother, it does not disappoint at all. If there is one word for this film, it's epic. Everything, everything, everything about this movie is huge, powerful, overwhelming, dominant, and absolutely badass to the core. If you love old school Godzilla movies, if you want to see Godzilla stomping around in his badassery, this is your film. If you want to see Ghidorah finally done right, this is your film. If you like Rodan and think that he got short shrift being a B-list monster, this is your film. If you think that Toho was never able to convey how truly badass Mothra can be, brother, this is your film. The film literally opens at the end of the previous film with Godzilla stomping around in San Francisco. Only this time, it's in daylight. It's a quick shot. We get to see it, and we also get to see it from the perspective from the ground, from the perspective of a human being looking up as Godzilla walks by and wastes everything. It is amazing, because from that point, it is a non-stop roller coaster ride to the end at almost 2.5 hours. There are no dead spots in this film. Even the parts that focus on the humans are not really downtime. And let's talk about the humans for a moment that are in this film. They're competent. They're capable. You actually are invested. But even they know they are second fiddle to the kaiju. In fact, the sense that you get from the humans in this film is they are neck deep in a sea of crap, and all they're trying to do is stay afloat and keep swimming to get out of it. From the first time that they bring, well, let me say this. Each of the monsters are introduced individually. Each one gets their screen time. Each one gets their moment of badassery. But the first time that Ghidorah climbs out, unveils himself full screen, is the first in a long line of oh shit moments that this film offers. From that moment to the end, friends, it is non-stop. It is on, and it doesn't quit. Ghidorah is presented the way he should have always been presented. He is an unstoppable force of nature. That is an overused metaphor, but it is appropriate in this case. If you need to go see him. Pay full price, and I will not give you that recommendation often, but this film is worth it. See it. See what they do to Monster Zero, and you will understand. He has finally made the terror that he was always meant to be. There is just so much good to speak about this thing. The villain's motivations, they make sense to the villain. You understand them. You don't agree with them. Obviously, you think they're batshit crazy. But you understand why those motivations make sense to them. And really, the villains, the human villains, they're just a catalyst. They start this ball rolling and very, very quickly lose control. And that's where the fun begins. There is, in it, epic scenes of badassery, probably the most badass scene is in his third act. It's Godzilla moving to attack under full escort. I wish I could show you that scene. I so wish I could show you that scene. It's probably not a perfect film. It's beautifully shot. It is the kaiju flick that we've always wanted. Why? Because it's Toho's vision with American money and effects behind it. And that combination is as great as it sounds. It's just fun. The whole damn thing is fun. Yes, it's shot with a serious tone. Yes, you buy into that serious tone. But by God, it is so much fun, beginning to end. What can I say? Moments of badassery. I said, if you love kaiju, each one of them gets the spotlight. Each one of them gets their own chance to shine. I mean, I can't really tell you a whole lot more, but I'll give you a few things. That epic Act 3 scene. The fact that, again, whenever we see the kaiju and the humans interact, humans are down here and the kaiju are up here. It is shot from the human point of view against looking up at these unstoppable monsters. There's one scene where Godzilla and Ghidorah are going at it. And I mean, they are going at it. Full speed, non-stop. And then you cut away and you see Mothra and Rodan rolling across the street, beating the shit out of each other. And then we cut back to the other two. It's just great. I had a good time. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to try and look at this. I love it. I love this film. I endorse this film. I'm telling you, go see this freaking film. Now, that being said, it's not perfect. All right? One thing, if you're like me, and if you love the Heisei era Godzilla movies, there's a lot that you're going to remember. You're going to go through. I found myself halfway through the film. I was going, oh, yeah. Okay. And then, yeah. All right. That makes sense. Oh, there's that. Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense there. The film is well aware of the established canon and is, some people might say eventually, respectful of that canon to a fault. Because they are always, it's not really fan service. I think they're trying to be respectful of the canon and trying to find their place in it. And again, as I said, a lot of what they did, it's not wholly original. They keep to their own story. They don't do any kind of great reset. They keep the origins that they've established for the monsters. They even, at one point, they do eventually admit that Monster Zero comes from outer space. So that's good. But what this is a film for the fans. I think if you've never seen a Godzilla film in your life, or you've only seen the other Legends Godzilla film, or God help us, Zilla, yeah, you can jump into this, and it's a hell of a good time. If you're like the rest of us, and you were raised on this stuff, and you've seen them all, and you've watched the dubs, the bad dubs, and the subtitled versions. There's even one scene that I swear they pulled almost completely from Shin Godzilla, but they put a new spin on it. They did their own thing with it, and it's cool. It works, and that's the best thing I can recommend about this film. Everything they do works, with the exception of one thing. There is a plot point that they interject in, and I don't know why they did this. I don't know if they're trying to pay tribute to canon. I don't know if it's clumsy fan service. It doesn't work. I found myself going, why? What is, why did you do this? What is the point of this? And you'll know it when it comes along. I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody. You'll know it when you, all of this stuff, you'll know when it comes, when you're watching it. But at the same time, that's the moment in the film where I swore for a minute. I swore for a minute that Mecha Godzilla was going to be added to the cast. And ultimately he's not, which is probably a good thing, because I would have ended up squealing like a little girl if he did, and I'm man enough to admit that. But my God, this was worth the wait. It was absolutely worth the wait. When Skull Island came out, we said, okay, they listened. You know, the old joke, you know, you're going to have Godzilla in your Godzilla movies? Yeah, that's not a problem here. In fact, having too many monsters in the film, that's not a problem here. Plotline, like I said, you'll understand where everything comes from. You'll identify where they pulled different stuff from. I wasn't terribly geeked out about that. Some snob-ass film critics on the web are going to come out and say, it's not original. All they did was recycle old ideas. Yeah. Again, if you're a fan of the Heisei era Godzilla movies, you'll identify a lot. But I don't think you'll care. Because I did, and I didn't care. Because it's not about recycling an idea. It's how you do it. And they did it well. They did it well. They did it respectfully. They did it artfully. And they made it fun. And in the end, what more do we want? This is the Godzilla film that we have waited for our whole lives. I'm the Hamerson. And this bad boy right here is what I'm going to remember.